Hey guys, I'm kind of getting set up here, but I wanted to do another live session. Just answer any questions. I'm going to go ahead and post this. Let me get set up. So I still have some questions from the last videos I didn't get to finish answering. Please type any questions that you have below and I'll get to them in order. I also have some cards. If anyone wants me to draw a card, just type it in the comments and I would love to. Okay, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I am seeing posts about like, oh, I'm sick. I just saw a post that said like, I'm sick of people playing into this twin flame notion. There's no such thing as twin flames and I'm really sick of hearing about it. I do know a lot of people who I wouldn't encourage anyone to like, to leave their current relationship in search of a twin flame. That will never work. If you're looking for your flame, it's going to be within. It's the same as seeking the divine or God. It's the same place. So I do see where it could be detrimental to a lot of people where they're like trying to leave current relationships in search of this flame that may or may not be here. I would agree with part of the post though, that your flame stays in the other realm to help balance your energies. This is accurate. So most of the time, your flame, there's going to be one that descends and is a warrior and one that's an observer. So you guys take turns each life, but you can choose to be reunited with your flame at any point in time. This separation is an illusion. It's kind of like any separation we chose to experience. That's a 3D notion. When you ascend into 5D, you're going to realize that we're all one and there's only one. So it doesn't matter who you're with. But a lot of times people are in these relationships and then they have these awakenings and you pretty much fall out of alignment with that person. And that's going to happen with everyone. You're going to want to like find a relationship that's more spiritual. And a lot of the relationships we've been in the past, they were not spiritual, so it's not fulfilling and they don't last. So just really embrace these energies. Right now, we just had that super moon and the energies are changing. Now is more about having fun. Our planet is going into Sagittarius, which is all about fun. So it's a little bit of a lighter mood. I do see some heavy stuff going on. I guess that's a matter of perception. I'm seeing crazy things going on with Russia. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with the elections, with Russia, whatever. And like global catastrophe. I'm not really sure because I do see like a bunch of future probability lines, but I'm not sure which one's going to be the one to win out. So I do see a lot of crazy things. 3D ultimately is going to be destroyed. Our planet has consistently been moving up in dimension and it's not going to be able to sustain. So if there's like a war on this planet, it's going to go to the other planet eventually. Everything that's in alignment with fear, hate, greed, any of those lower vibrations, it's not going to be able to sustain here. Our planet's slowly raising its frequency, and so are most of us. But the ones that aren't, the ones that are stuck in that like third dimensional, separateness and illusion of separateness, they're not going to sustain here. So I'm not really sure. I feel like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And this is going to be the catalyst that wakes up all these people that refuse to wake up right now. So a lot of the people that you see sleeping are ultimately going to have to wake up, and it's us light workers that are really like making a ripple effect. So just like, it's basically spreading. We're very contagious with our light. So keep trying to like wake people up. It will ultimately happen. I feel like things have to get worse before they get better. I'll use an example. We have a really good friend that's really into Trump, and he really believes that Trump's gonna come save our country. And this is the Messiah pretty much. And this is, this is our hope of the future. And I'm really, really glad that he has some kind of hope, but that's not ultimately going to be what's going to happen. So we know he's going to be very disappointed when whatever happens. He's going to fall. He's going to be disappointed. Everything he knows is going to shatter, and that's going to catapult him into waking up. So ultimately, whatever is going to happen is going to be huge, and it's going to basically shatter people. It's going to scare people into waking up. The people that refuse to right now. So big things are happening. I want to see what people are writing. Last time it took a minute to like get to the comments. So yeah, crazy things are happening. I watch End Time News, so I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on. We're just seeing huge things. More concerning would be our weather. And the really, like, the Earth's changes that are happening. I find that more concerning. The best advice I can give everyone is just work steadily at raising your vibration slowly. And the fact that you're watching this means that you have a really good start and you're doing amazing. Let's see. So it's also really important to remember that everyone is right where they're supposed to be. No one is out of place. So ultimately, everyone is on the right path and right where they should be. We don't go through any experience for nothing. I know, slow down, Richard. I'm rambling. I'm very nervous. My heart's like beating. I'm flaming. Like, no. But in order to find your flame, you have to complete yourself as a person. Ultimately, this is a lot harder than one might think. So it's when we're incomplete and looking for the right person. But right now, Mike, you're doing the right thing, which would be focusing on your kids and staying away from looking for your flame. It's the people that I see ultimately that are like running after, trying to find something outside of themselves that really get themselves in trouble. Hi, Vero. Dwayne, I don't mean to beat a dead horse about love. It's always the number one thing that I think about. I've had a lot of signs as of lately that are pointing in the direction of love. Do you have any feelings for me on the subject? Yes. Ultimately, we're all here to find unconditional divine love. That's what we all crave. Every person just wants to love and be loved. So this is like embedded in our DNA. I also believe it's how our soul leads us along. We came here with certain contracts. We agreed to come do certain things with certain people. So ultimately, those contracts are going to keep you going where you're headed, where you're supposed to go. So a lot of people that are drawn to me, I draw them because either A, you have a crystal child, B, you have a twin flame you have yet to discover, or C, basically, it depends, maybe like star seeds I draw to me. So I'm not drawing people like by coincidence. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is time to wipe the sleep from my third eye. I'm very tired today. These moons really, really affect me. I see they make my dog crazy too, and they just basically bring out a lot of things in us that we need to deal with. So they're always really like just, I guess, stressful. They make me tired. I don't sleep good with the moon so close, and I think they might do whacked out things with our weather. Gail, any career advice for you? Ultimately, you're going to be wanting doing something that you love. I feel like you're like at a crossroads with it where you're deciding, do I want to do this job where I'll make more money, or do I want to do a job where I'm going to make less money and be more ultimately happy? Right now, a lot of us are shifting in everything. We're shifting in consciousness. We're shifting in careers, relationships, friendships. We're just changing ultimately who we are. And that's an expression of embodying our higher self. So you're really like going through life playing different roles. Like you're trying different aspects of yourself out. And ultimately, you're going to settle on what makes you happy. So basically, the best advice I can give anyone is to follow your soul. This is good for the next question. Please throw some light on higher self. Thank you. Much love. Basically, we came to Earth, we descended, and a lot of our lives we were led by the lower self, as in body, ego, what you're seeing right in front of you. So I know for a fact that I've embodied my higher self. That's how I'm able to access so much information. There's going to come a point where the goal is to kill your ego and to embody your higher self in body. And this higher self has infinite access to information. So it's like really like the Da Vinci picture where I believe it's Da Vinci where it had the arms out and then the arms like that went in the circle. And that picture really is about the lower and higher self. And you're basically learning how to blend these aspects of yourself. So your higher self has been helping you all the time. You're not here, you're not alone on earth. You have a higher self, you have 2 angels and a guide that have been helping you. Every detail of your life has been planned out. You just don't remember it. So I know a lot of people seem like disappointed or their life sucks or it's not going as good as it should be. But that's how I felt half of my life. But I was just on a divine plan that was better than my plan. So that's why when I thought things were falling apart and they weren't working out, they were going exactly as planned. It was my plan. I just couldn't remember it. Melissa, when soulmates meet, are they aware? Is it a feeling they both know deep inside? or can it turn into unrequited love if the other person is not on the same level? Okay, these karmic relationships and soulmate relationships and twin flames, they seem very familiar. All these people are familiar to you. So it's kind of like a magnetic pull. Like I had a soulmate relationship, and I could tell the second I looked in his eyes, and my soul pulled me, and then that went great for a few years, and then it just started pulling me somewhere else. So you're going to be able to tell when you look in the person's eyes. Karmic relationships can be very familiar too, because this is someone you've incarnated with many lives. So be really careful about that pull, but ultimately your soul wants you to clear up karma. So it's going to pull you right into those relationships too. You're going to be able to tell when you meet a soulmate, it's different. It's like they're a part of your soul family. They actually share a piece of your soul. So there's going to be something familiar in them. You're going to see a part of yourself in them. Now, like a twin flame, that is you in another body. Like that is one soul in two bodies. So you're going to recognize yourself in their eyes. Like my twin flame, his eyes are like brown and green, and mine are blue. And they look completely different. But if I look at myself in a mirror, I see the same thing I see when I look in his eyes. So you're going to have a deep recognition. And ultimately, you're learning how to follow your intuition and your own guidance. Please type more questions. I think my computer sucks. My internet sucks here, so it took a little while to catch up. But please type more questions, anything really. Carlos, what are your thoughts on the Pleiadians? Okay, well, I don't really want to get into like a religious debate or spiritual debate, but because I recognize that this is just my perception and not everyone's views are going to line up with this. But I believe, and I believe this is fact, that aliens made people, that they seeded our planet and that they seeded all the planets, and that's where life comes from. But this doesn't mess up like a concept of God, because I believe Source told them to do it. Like they were just doing what they were told, and they would see what kind of life would come out of each planet. Like that's why they have Manus aliens. They're very spiritual. They're 8th density, and that was the life that was going to come out of their planet. So people basically are a mix of different DNA. We all have Pleiadian DNA in us. We all have reptile DNA. And I'm not sure the other types, but I believe it was like 5 types of aliens. And our planet was actually contaminated. We were supposed to be the perfect human, and a meteor hit our planet with bacteria on it, and everything that's on Earth comes from the same source except bacteria. So it contaminated our planet, and it caused people to be susceptible to illnesses and stuff. And they had a big debate whether or not to scrap the whole experiment and start over, which would have taken forever. And they decided to stick with it. So I believe it was contaminated a lot. So these are our family. Like people have really horrific stories about like UFO grays or something, like gray abductions, and they can't do anything you didn't agree to. Like you just forgot. If like they have a lot of genetic experiments going on right now, so a lot of people like are real traumatized by what's going on because they don't understand. But a lot of people did agree to help with these experiments. The Pleiadians and other races are watching after us, and we're basically their creation, their guardians. So as more and more people become enlightened, more guardians are going to be communicating with us and working through us. You're surrounded by the Pleiadians. Possibly, I believe that. I believe everyone has Pleiadian DNA though. So I don't think it's anything special, but I think that we are kind of like a melting pot. Like I really do believe that certain people only use the reptile part of their brains, and it doesn't matter what you do to try to wake them up. Just certain people are not equipped to use the front part of their brain. Like they basically are operating on the really basic parts of their brain, and they're not going to ascend. So it just really depends on the type of people you're dealing with. There's all different species here though, among us. Yeah, I'm an empath, so I do get nervous. You adore crystals. I saw that you should give them to your children, for sure. Anyone with like small children, I would recommend they start teaching them about healing the body, crystals. These kids have amazing memories, and they can remember so much that it took us a really long time to remember. Like they're very connected to source, much more than any of us. They are from very high levels of consciousness. Most of these kids, they stopped right about Atlantis and Lemuria, and they haven't been back since then. So they're from really high levels of consciousness, and they're really game changers. They're going to change this entire grid, and they're directly already wired into it. Karma is an excuse for stupid people. Okay. Karma is a very real thing, and a lot of people get caught on that karmic wheel. I just do this in segments. A lot of people get caught in that karmic wheel, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to liberate ourselves from karma. So karma is very real. Our actions, what kind of energy you put out is going to come right back to you. If I have a bad day and I'm not emitting my regular love frequency, and I'm putting out shitty vibes, shitty things are going to come back and happen to me. So our actions really do come back on us. I wish I could tell you that you're going to die and go to heaven and get judged and all this, but unfortunately, I believe that karma is what is governing our lives on earth. It's like, it's just basically a way to organize the chaos. Past lives are a manifestation of the human mind. Well, I have memories of mine, so there's nothing you can really say to convince me otherwise. Just because of like serious memories I have from it. But I don't know if I'm typical, because I was told I kind of left a doorway open between our realm and the other realm from dying. So I don't really know. But we do manifest whatever we want. Politics are useless. Yes, they are. I'll agree with there. Aliens, we cannot confirm or deny. Well, I'm just going to say that I'm pretty sure my flame is like a straight alien, like born in space. So I can confirm it. There are people here from other places to help, thank God. Believes in Jesus, sweet. Well, I do believe in Jesus. Actually, we'll go back to the twin flame topic right there. So, I do believe in Jesus. I believe Jesus and Mary Magdalene were a really good example of twin flames. But then again, I also believe that Osiris and Isis were really good examples of twin flames. And then the Hindu gods, Shika and the flame. So there's some really good examples of flames that have come here on missions to help humanity. So, and this is still going on. I'm on a mission with my flame. I see a few other flames around. There are a lot of twin flames here to help raise the consciousness of the earth right now. What can you say about aliens, Robin? I would say that they're here living among us, and they look just like me and you you wouldn't be able to tell the difference looking at them. And they've been here the whole time. They've been here the whole time living among us. A lot of times people would think of them as gods, but they're right here just like me and you. But there are all different types, obviously. Someone needs to learn about Christ consciousness. Yes. Now, see, there is a difference between Christ and Christ consciousness. That's why I'm even really hesitant to bring my views on like God into it. I try to avoid the word God, and I try to refer to it as source or source energy. But yes, Jesus is not going to come save the planet. I mean, you're really trying to embody that Christ consciousness that is accessible to all of us. And the best way to do that is to meditate. You can do many things as a form of meditation. Like all different things. I look at sex as like a form of meditation. So there's many ways that you can access this energy, but it's available to everyone. That's the lie that the Catholics and Christianity religions want you to embrace, is that, you know, Jesus was special, but really everyone is meant to ascend. All ascension is liberating yourself from the earth realm. Don't be a crazy religious love, God, energy, oneness. Yes, we are all one. Have I separated from my twin flame? Yes, you have. We all did. That's so we could experience that reunion and that oneness. Please type some more questions in. But yeah, we all chose to feel that separateness. We all wanted to, so that we could experience the joy of coming back together with that ultimate love. And really, this is a journey about finding ourselves here on earth. It's a school so that we can work on ourselves and better ourselves. And really, what I can say it all comes down to is being a nicer person. And that when you're nice to someone else, like, or service of others, that's really an illusion too, because really you're helping yourself by helping others. And what it's going to come down to is whether or not you're service of self or service of others. So be really careful about your choices and how they're affecting you right now. This is a really crazy time period. I don't think people are realizing how important it is until stuff starts to crumble a little bit more, and then it's going to snap a lot of people out of it. So a lot of the people that are writing that I'm crazy, I'm completely whacked, I'm some religious fanatic or Christian fanatic, whatever you might see me as, those same people are going to wake up in like a year and be freaked out, and they're going to be coming to you guys and saying, oh, I'm so sorry, oh my God, you were right. But it's going to take a little while. So I'm not concerned. I hope I sound completely crazy. I hope maybe something I say might snap you out of it. Okay. Explain how there is only one illusion or separation. Okay, we really are all one. We come from the same source. I'm probably not the best to describe this, but we only have one subconsciousness. So I look at it almost like, I feel like I had to do every life in this matrix to get out of it. And that's what I heard, that we really have done every life in this matrix. Like, pretty much I'm starting to think of all of you guys are just almost me, a different incarnation. And that's why it's so bad to judge people, because we don't really know how people would turn out going through what they've been through. So we really do all come from one source, though, and there really is only one of us. So you're looking at other people like they're separate, they're this color, they're that religion, they're nothing like me, but they really are you, a different life. So it's really important that we embrace that and come together, because in 5D we are one. All we have is love for each other and ourselves. In 3D it's separation, it's conflict. You know, they're pushing all these things to divide people politically, just whatever. And it's starting to work. My concern, too, is that in this country, there's very limited news sources. There's very limited news sources. I was just reading something on how Russia's very concerned that America is not even, they don't know what's going on. They don't know that really we just started almost World War III, and maybe people should be concerned. And that right now in Russia, people are having, they're practicing for bomb strikes right now. They're telling their civilians to find the nearest bomb shelters, and they're gearing up to have a war with us. So a lot of Americans are not even, they don't even know what's going on. They're like all wrapped up in Black Lives Matter, the politics, clowns, whatever. And it's really concerning to me because this knowledge is going to ultimately be your power. Okay, and will you meet your twin flame before you leave this body? You spend many lives with your twin. You've spent your first incarnation with your twin flame, and you will spend your last and like 10 in between. You don't spend every life with your twin. Otherwise, we wouldn't be very good students, and we would be distracted, and we wouldn't be learning these tough lessons. So we don't spend every life with our twin. A lot of the time, they do stay in the other realm to help balance our energies, and we kind of like alternate. But during this time, it's a very important time, and so many of you have your twin. You can choose to find them at any point by choosing not to be separate, by choosing that oneness. And ultimately, they will disappear to you. They will come, you will meet them, and you will have that kind of spiritual connection that you're ultimately craving. Also, time in the fourth dimension. Also, is the time in fourth dimension, so is time relative in the fifth dimension. Time doesn't work like we say it does, like we think it does. I try to explain this to people all the time. I know this one girl who's always like asking me dates, like, oh, is it true that on October 17th, 2016 or 2017, I'm gonna meet my flame? And I'm just like, because a psychic told me that. Another psychic told me that I'm gonna meet my flame exactly, this day in 2 years, and I'm just like, okay, time does not work like we think it does. It's more like future, like when I see future events, it's more like future probabilities, and it's more like a sequence of events has to happen. So if I'm trying to like manifest something, and I have a plan, right? Say I have a 5-step plan. If I only get 2 of those steps done and I don't do the other 3 steps, the whole plan is going to collapse. So a certain series of events, sequence of events has to happen in order to get where you're going. So time does not work at all like we think. Time is a complete illusion. It's more like a series of events. Like we're living our life and we're having a series of events, and our human brains are just like completely tying it together, like we're always here, we're always in this reality. But I will tell you for a fact, there was a time not that long ago when they had to fix the sun, and we all went to bed for the night, and we woke up like 3 weeks later without missing a beat. So crazy things happen regarding time. Time is an illusion. It's not like we think. And our higher self is also the gift that we get when we reach 6th density. So and our higher self is helping us now in this density. So just like go to figure, all these events are accessible now. The past and the future are accessible in the now, and there really is only the now. But we definitely, as a planet, we have transcended past the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, and it's kind of like these frequencies are not going to be able to hold anymore for 3D. So it really is being destroyed. I'm seeing like a lot more fires. Basically, in the Law 1, it says Earth, Wind, and Fire will destroy 3D. Soul doesn't have gender, race, social, and economic choices. No, but I did choose to come here and be a female with my male counterpart. So these are things that we do plan out. I did pick my family. I did pick my parents. So these kind of choices that we made before we came here would ensure that we would become who we were meant to become. So I chose to go through certain experiences with my family to get me here now. So we really did pick a lot of those situations before coming here. Do we have guardian angels or other guardian beings? Yes. We do. We have 2 angels that help us at all times. Some of us are putting those angels in overload, but they're always to protect us. They're always trying to help us. And really, like, I happen to know this for a fact, every one of your prayers is answered. Sometimes we just don't like the answers that we get. And I know we want things our way and we don't like the things we hear back, but really the divine works through everyone and in mysterious ways. And it is the force that organizes all of this chaos. So they call it intelligent infinity. So it's really what gives order to all this chaos. And it seems like things are falling apart. They're going crazier and crazier. Things are picking up. But really, the divine is in control and has a plan that's brilliant. And we're all going to see crazy things. Please type some more questions. I see another one about soul contracts. When everything is already decided before we come to Earth, how do our thoughts matter then? Our thoughts and our vibration are shaping our reality. Everything has been planned out, but I can make my time miserable or good. It's up to me. If I want to be miserable here, I can be. If I want to emit love and unconditional love, I can do that too. And that's really going to make a huge difference because you're doing all of this work and pretty soon it's going to start reflecting back in what you're seeing in the outside world. If you want to change what you're seeing in the world, you don't go try to change the world. You change yourself and what you're seeing is going to actually change. Like the physical world around you is going to change. It's going to become better. Like those lower vibrations, you're not going to be seeing them at all. So really, it's about raising your vibration and getting a hold of your, the ego in your mind, your thoughts in your head. You need to get a control of your mind because really that's shaping your reality you're seeing in front of you. So if I'm going to be miserable and negative, basically whatever frequency I'm putting out, I'm going to get back to me. So I want to raise my vibration and emit love all the time, and I'm going to get love back to me. So it's pretty simple. That's the problem with drugs and alcohol. They lower your vibration and they really it's a fight for your mind. So as you can see, that would be detrimental to you. It basically just fast tracks you to a really low vibration, and it's going to change your outside world and not in a good way. We grow vegetables. Vegetables make bacteria. Therefore, bacteria is made on Earth. Well, it was foreign to Earth. There's bacteria everywhere now. But it was foreign at the time. They had a perfect planet, believe it or not. So that's really good, you're growing vegetables. My goal would be to probably live off grid pretty much. It's really good. I'm stocking up on water just because, and I would recommend that everyone do that at this point because things are only going to get much worse before they get better. Yeah, please type more comments and questions. Remember, God is love. God really is love. In my life, don't infinite your mind, open your soul consciousness within you. By our creator. God really is infinite love, and they've done like studies where they've basically studied God and these it's basically wave particles, and they're trying to see, well, what decides where these wave particles are going to go? Why are they just because they'll just show up and go back and forth? Basically, I believe that God is where there is love. That if you want to find God, express your love and you will find him. Him, her, I wouldn't say gender, that wasn't like a gender comment, but if you want to find the divine, start by loving more. Okay, can I talk about the Sumerian gods and goddesses? I really can't. I see this new. I'm not really sure. I'm more up to date with Egypt stuff. I could talk a little bit about sorry, I can't even say it. Anunnaki, the pharaoh, where they came aliens came here and they interfered. This would have been around the same time, basically, like Egypt and Samaria were pretty close. But they came and they delivered the law of one and Anakinat and gave the best version of it, which really like angered basically the churches and control systems of that day, and he was ultimately murdered. But what happened was that knowledge was distorted. It was kept like in the higher realms of the government, and it was basically used in a government like control type of way. So that really like angered a lot of these entities from other places. So, and it also caused the ones, and this would relate to Samaria, the ones that came here and they led people to believe they were gods. Their job was they were supposed to come teach. And they came here and they loved that power. They loved that feeling of, oh, they think we're gods. And what happened was ultimately they got trapped here and the messages were distorted because people were worshiping them and not what they were trying to teach them. So our history has been really hidden. Samaria has a lot of really, I would love to like know more about like the Sumerian tablets and stuff, because I feel like if you can get back to Samaria and Egypt, we can kind of get back to what's real, because everything's been distorted so much. And this will really mind fuck people. In the Law of One, it says, you know who was like the best spiritual teacher that gave the best version of the Law. One would have been Muhammad, which would be like Islamic religion. So really think about where we're at as a society, and these cultures like, you know, ISIS and everything going on in the world. Think about how fucked that religion is. Considering that he gave almost the best version of it, close to Jesus, like they really did. That's how far these religions have like fallen. So it's not just one religion, it's really all of them. I try to tell everyone to steer clear of any religions because they're basically control systems at this point in time. Let's see. But I'm not that knowledgeable on those Sumerian days. Can you talk about entities? Crystals. Crystals are very helpful. I wear a crystal around my neck at all times. They're really good for protection. I started out like with oils and crystals, and I thought they were really good for healing. Crystals and oils have really good healing purposes. Back in Lemuria's time, they had this huge crystals on the beach there, and these amazing healers would go and they would go down to the beach and they would put their energy into the rocks, and their energy would stay in these crystals. I mean, they were huge, massive, and their energy would stay in these crystals, so if someone was sick or needed healing later, they could walk down to the beach and go touch the rocks. Well, these rocks have survived. They're actually in Hawaii right now under a ton of lava, and that's why Hawaii is such a spiritual place, because these crystals are still putting out these healing frequencies, like on a massive level. So crystals are really good, like almost storage containers for energy later. You can put healing energy into them and then like leave them for people and or gift them to people. I've also heard that crystals get bored and they will find their way into other owners. Hi, Jesse. I'm real excited to see you. I hope you're healing well from your surgery. Let me say, I also was learning about how the densities kind of like correspond with each chakra. So first density is going to be like corresponding with your red chakra, second with your orange, and third with your yellow. So we're all really working on almost like, you know, the heart chakra, that would be fourth density, or throat 5, and higher ones. So we're really trying to unblock these higher frequencies. I've been sending you healing energy from afar. This is kind of a good thing. I know you don't believe it, but it's keeping you home with your kids. Let's see, Sarah. So much has happened the last couple of years of my life. Looking back, I can see how the chaos has brought me to the point of ascension, and I'm grateful. My question is, does life settle down, and will things flow where and when it is peace? Yes, you want to go with the flow. Our problem is so many of us lived unconsciously for our whole lives, maybe many lives. I think I was living unconsciously many lives, personally, probably 100 at least. So I was living very unconsciously. So when I woke up and I became conscious and started living my life differently, I had a huge mess I'm still dealing with. All the time you're trying to like unravel this mess. Like you basically were like a wind-up toy just going along, and basically you were just unaware. And now you're dealing with that. So the more that you just follow that ascension path and get away from that old life, like, and just start creating your new life any way you want, the more things will go better. So just stay on the path. You're doing good. You're going to see signs all the time. You're definitely seeing synchronicities that can confirm that. And if you're watching this, you're definitely on the right path. Mahava, we chose our parents before coming here. That is so true. We chose everyone. We incarnate with the same soul group all the time. That's why a lot of people are familiar. Is it true that with soulmates too? Yes. Soulmates are not like an uncommon thing. We have like 20 a life. So we have a lot of soulmates. It's definitely not an uncommon thing. Do you already decide our romantic mates before coming here? Some of them we do. We contract to marry or have children with the really important contracts that we need to deal with to ensure that. So if it's something that you need to clear up, like on a karmic level, you're going to have a contract with that person to ensure that the universe will bring you together. Let's see. Please type more questions. What is it like to have energy tickling on one side of your body and tingle to your fingers after awakening? I'm going to have to Google this really quick. Hang on, because I forget. One of your sides of your body is for your past and what problems, and one is for now. Wait. Let's see. Okay, the left side of your body reflects problem that is a root in your past, while the right is in the now. So if you have, like, I don't know, your left leg hurts, that's going to be a past problem. So that's really helpful to know with dealing with it. Just basically go with the flow, drink more water, because these energies are just going to get crazier and crazier. I feel like you're in a little bit of a break, and just to go out and have fun, go do fun things. I just went to a haunted house. It was really cool. Just go, like, get out and have more fun right now. Take advantage of it until we get into that crazy energy after that. Let's see. So it will mean that we could in a sense see time from a fifth dimensional perspective, and time travel is accessible when our fifth dimension bodies. Eventually a lot of things are going to be possible. Eventually people will be able to fly and do crazy things. So we're really unlocking our potential. But right now a lot of us are kind of like living from back and forth between the third and fifth dimension, and the fourth is really like a bridge between the third and the fifth. So a lot of us are, like, you know, staying in fifth while we're at home, but then we have to go deal with the real world in 3D, and we're being able to see both. I'm being able to see all the crazy stuff politically. Will Russia probably go into war or whatever, all this stuff, but yeah, I'm staying grounded, and I'm living in a heart-centered area in my house in 5D. So it's really like about being the ultimate alchemist and being able to go back and forth. Shyla, send you're working on it. I see that you're working on it. You really embody unconditional love. I saw a post with your mom, and I know that sometimes we are given situations that are not easy for us, and you're really like an amazing teacher for her. And like I went over this before, that our kids are here to teach us lessons. It's not the other way around. Like, I know she would like to think she's teaching you, but you're really teaching her, and you're embodying unconditional love, and that's how you're going to get into the 50 with that unconditional love. So you're doing really good. But time travel definitely is accessible. In the now, we're learning that we can access our past and our future. We can fix our past mistakes in the now. And that perspective that really everyone else is me, just a different life, makes me feel better about things. Because if I ever had things in the past that I wanted to apologize for, I don't have to. I can apologize to myself. I don't have to go find that person. So that makes me feel a little bit better about it. Let's see. Michelle, let's see what you are. These labels, let's see what you are. Let me find your picture. These labels, she wants to know what she is, if she's like a crystal, an indigo. Let me see. Let me see your profile. Hold on. These labels, it's really important to remember that we make up these labels, so they don't mean anything, but they help sort us out. I can say, oh, I'm an indigo, I'm a fighter, and maybe someone else is an indigo might come, you know, be like, oh, okay, me too. Oh, I'm a crystal. Oh, me too. Yeah. So it kind of like helps us sort ourselves out. But really, I don't think that we really know the depth of who we are. Like, we've been everything in every life. So maybe I'm an indigo this life, but I'm pretty sure I was a crystal last life, and I was probably something else the life before. And I've been all of those things. So I'm learning how to be able to, my higher self can draw on every life I've ever had. Me in the human body, I'm limited. I can't draw on anything. But when I have help of integrating with my higher self, I can really draw upon all those aspects. So if it makes you feel better, I'll try to look and see what you are. But you're going to know better than anyone. Well, you're definitely an indigo. I say that only because I would have to look at your chart a little more to be able to give you a couple more labels, if that makes you feel better. But a lot of us are starseeds. Most people are starseeds. Where do you think people came from? A lot of us are from high levels of consciousness, and we thought we heard the calling and we volunteered to come here and help. Oh, I want to talk about duality, yes. Okay, can I talk about duality? Yes, good and evil are which is bad. I don't know. I try to, okay, let's talk about duality first. That polarity, that good and bad. Okay, I'm good, he's bad. I'm right, he's wrong. They're bad, I'm good. Whatever these labels are, they're just dividing people. So it would be more accurate if I say he's bad, then I say, okay, then I'm bad too. Because this is all a projection of ourselves. So when we see this stuff, like, let's see, let me give you a really horrific example. How about Hitler? I'm pretty sure that he might have killed like a bunch of people, really horrific things, okay? But actually he had, he's in the Law of One, they use him as an example. He had really good, power chakra, so he would have had a really good orange and I believe yellow. He was just short like his heart chakra, so it didn't work out obviously, because people are meant to be a perfect balance. I believe this is in the Catholic religion, the Holy Trinity, where they show like the pink, yellow, and I believe green, the flames, the three flames. Everyone has to have exactly perfect flames. So say I'm short like the green one, I don't have enough love, okay? And my flames are not all perfect. Well then, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to ascend very far. So what does the universe do to help me out? The universe sends me my twin flame, who happens to have maybe, you know, a big green one and a short orange one that I can help him with. So when we mix, we balance each other out perfectly. That's how it works out. Einstein also was really like spectacular, but he was short. I believe it was like he had a really good yellow one, but he was short a different one. So they didn't complete what they were supposed to. So really though, this duality, this is fake. Because we are all one. So basically, the big strategy now is to conquer and divide, and it's working lovely. So that's why I try to stay away from that. Good and evil definitely exists in 3D, though. In my world, in 5D, that doesn't exist, and it's an illusion, and we're all one. But let me go back to 3D, where a lot of you are living. That polarity is very real. The third dimension is where good and evil are fought. Oh, yeah. So good and evil are really real there. But the goal is to transcend past that and out of that into higher dimensions so that that's not a concern anymore. So it's very real for some people. Good and evil is fought in the third dimension, and evil has just as much rights as good. Free will is the big gift there. That's where free will is being played out and fought over. So yes, you're seeing good and evil, both sides gearing up to fight each other. Are witches bad? There are a lot of really good witches here to